When God speaks, he does not always use words. His voice can be a whisper in the wind, a stirring in the heart, or even a sign in the physical world. Many are searching for answers, longing to know if the divine is guiding them, yet they overlook the very signs placed before them. To those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, the message of God is ever. There are moments when an unexplained warmth floods the body, as though an unseen presence has wrapped you in its embrace. It is not the heat of the sun, nor the warmth of a fire, but a divine energy that brings peace, comfort, and assurance. This is a physical manifestation of his presence, reminding you that you are not alone, that he walks beside you even when the world feels heavy. Then there are the times when a sudden chill runs down your spine, a shiver that comes from nowhere. It is not fear, nor the coldness of the air, but a deep awareness that something beyond the natural is unfolding. It is as if God himself has brushed past you, awakening your spirit to a truth you have yet to fully comprehend. This is a moment of divine connection, a signal that you are being called to pay attention to something greater than yourself. A sudden, unexplainable tingling sensation in your hands or feet is another sign. It comes when you are lost in deep thought, when you are praying, or when you are standing at the edge of a decision. It is as though energy is flowing through you, charging you with divine wisdom, urging you to take the next step. This is not a coincidence. It is the touch of the Creator, awakening something dormant within you, stirring the spirit that is eternally connected to him. There are times when an overwhelming stillness overtakes you. The noise of the world fades, the distractions disappear, and you feel an unshakable peace descend upon you. In this silence, God is speaking. It is a sacred moment, a space where time seems to pause, where all that matters is the presence of the Almighty. This stillness is his way of aligning you with his will, of drawing you closer to the realization that you are already in possession of all that you seek. As you realize, the body reacts when divine truth is near. A racing heart, a sudden surge of energy, a pull in the chest. These are not mere physical reactions. They are the soul recognizing the voice of its Creator. It happens when you hear a message that was meant for you, when a revelation strikes deep within, when something long buried in your subconscious suddenly rises to the surface. The heart knows, the body responds, and the spirit remembers. And then there is the moment when tears fall without reason. Not tears of sorrow, but tears of recognition, of release, of divine understanding. They come when you least expect them, when a simple thought enters your mind, when a song plays, when you feel the weight of something unseen. These tears are the soul's way of acknowledging truth, of responding to the presence of the divine. It is as if God himself has touched your heart, reminding you that he is near, that he sees you, and that his love for you is beyond measure. The physical world is not separate from the spiritual. The body is not merely flesh. It is a vessel through which the divine speaks. When you learn to recognize these signs, you will realize that God has been speaking to you all along. The body is a vessel, a sacred instrument through which the divine communicates. The unseen, the infinite, the eternal, these realities press upon you, whispering their truths through sensations, through feelings, through an inner knowing that cannot be explained but only experienced. When God speaks, he does not require human language. His voice is written in the very fabric of existence, in the air that moves around you, in the subtle and undeniable signs that manifest within your body. There are times when you awaken in the middle of the night with no explanation. Your heart is still, your body at rest, but something has stirred you from sleep. It is as if an unseen force has called your name, not in words, but in a presence that demands awareness. You look at the clock, and the numbers hold significance, a pattern, a repetition, a reminder that time itself is a message, that the waking of your body is not random, but divinely orchestrated. You sense that there is something you must know, something you must listen for. These moments are sacred. They are an invitation to align yourself with the divine rhythm, to be still and hear what has been placed within you. Sometimes an unexplainable sensation rests upon your shoulders, as though a hand has been placed there. It does not come with fear, but with reassurance, as if an unseen presence is reminding you that you are guided, that you are being led. You may find yourself pausing in the middle of your day, a sudden awareness washing over you that you are not walking this path alone. It is the touch of the divine, a reminder that even when you feel uncertain, even when the road ahead is unclear, you are being carried forward by something greater than yourself. And then there is the moment when your breath catches in your chest, when for no apparent reason you feel as though the air has become heavier with meaning. You pause, feeling the weight of something unseen, the recognition that you are standing at the edge of something profound. This is not anxiety, nor is it fear. It is revelation pressing upon you, a shift in the unseen realms making itself known in the tangible. It happens when a truth is about to be revealed, when a realization is drawing near. You feel it before you understand it. The body knows before the mind catches up. At times, an undeniable pull draws you to a certain place, a certain person, a certain moment. You cannot explain why, but something within you urges you to move, to follow an invisible thread leading you somewhere beyond logic. You hesitate, yet the feeling persists. This is divine direction, the unseen hand of God moving you into position, guiding your steps in ways you cannot yet comprehend. If you listen, if you trust, you will find yourself exactly where you were meant to be. But if you resist, if you ignore the gentle nudging of the Spirit, you will feel the tension, the internal struggle, the unmistakable unrest that comes when you step away from divine alignment. The body is never separate from the spirit. It reacts to truth, it resonates with the voice of the divine even when the conscious mind does not understand. A sudden wave of exhaustion that overtakes you at the exact moment you are about to take the wrong step, a heaviness that warns you when something is not right. This is not just fatigue. It is divine protection. The spirit within you knows what the eyes cannot yet see. It speaks through sensation, through the weight of an invisible force urging you to stop, to reconsider, to turn away from a path that is not meant for you. And just as heaviness warns, lightness affirms. There are moments when an overwhelming peace washes over you, when you feel lighter than air, as though an unseen burden has been lifted. This is divine confirmation. It comes when you have made the right choice, when you have surrendered to the flow of what was always meant to be. The body relaxes, the heart opens, the mind quiets. This is the physical manifestation of walking in divine alignment. It is the feeling of knowing deep within your being that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Your senses are heightened when the divine is near. Sounds become clearer, colors more vibrant, time seems to slow down. You are no longer lost in the distractions of the world, but fully present, fully aware. You begin to notice things you would have overlooked before. A whisper in the wind that carries meaning, a bird that lands before you at the exact moment you need reassurance. The way the sun breaks through the clouds after a storm. These are not coincidences. These are physical echoes of a spiritual truth. The world itself is speaking, revealing to you what has been hidden in plain sight all along. There are moments when a sensation of warmth fills your chest, a fire that is not of this world. It does not burn, nor does it fade. It is the presence of God moving within you, stirring your spirit, awakening something that has long been dormant. You feel it when you pray, when you meditate, when you surrender. It is the body's recognition of divine truth, the merging of the seen and the unseen. In that moment, you know, without doubt, without question, that you are connected to something greater. And then there is the moment of release. Tears fall, not from sadness, but from a depth of understanding that words cannot reach. It is as though something within you has broken open, as though years of burdens have been lifted in a single breath. You may not have planned for it, you may not even understand it, but the body knows. It recognizes the presence of God, it responds to the nearness of the divine. The tears are not yours alone. They are the outpouring of something greater, the expression of a truth that cannot be spoken but only felt. The physical world and the spiritual are not separate, they are intertwined, reflections of one another. Your body is not just flesh and bone, it is a temple, a vessel, a sacred instrument through which the divine moves. The signs are always there, waiting for you to notice. God is not distant, nor is he silent. He is speaking, revealing, guiding through the whispers of your heart, the sensations in your body, the stillness in your soul. When you learn to listen, when you allow yourself to feel, you will realize that the presence of the divine has never been absent. It has always been within you. The body is not separate from the divine. It is the instrument through which the unseen makes itself known. Every sensation, every shift in energy, every unexplained feeling is an invitation to awaken, to listen, to perceive beyond the limitations of the physical world. To the one who is attuned, the body becomes a sacred receiver of divine messages, responding instinctively to the presence of God. There are moments when you feel a sudden change in temperature, a warmth spreading through your body, or a coolness washing over you as though the very air around you has shifted. It comes unbidden, without explanation, and yet it brings with it a deep awareness that something greater is at work. This is not the ordinary response of the body to its environment. It is a direct experience of the spiritual realm pressing upon you, revealing itself through the senses. It may come as a moment of stillness, a pause in time, where you feel cradled in an invisible embrace, knowing without words that you are being held in divine presence. The body speaks in ways the mind cannot always comprehend, a sudden surge of energy, as if something unseen has moved through you, leaving you charged with an intensity that is both exhilarating and calming. You may feel this as a tingling sensation, a vibration that courses through your hands, your feet, your very core, a sign that the spirit is awakening something within you. It is in these moments that clarity comes, not through thought, but through deep knowing. The body, acting as a conduit, responds before the mind catches up, revealing truths that have long been whispered in the depths of your soul. There are times when a weight settles over you, not as a burden, but as a presence, so thick it is almost tangible. It can feel like the air around you has become dense, as though you have stepped into a sacred space where the veil between worlds has thinned. It may happen in prayer, in solitude, in moments when your spirit is open and receptive. The body instinctively recognizes this as holy ground, as an encounter with the unseen, urging you to pause, to listen, to be still, in the presence of something far greater than yourself. And then there are the moments when you feel an unshakable knowing, a conviction that settles into your very bones. You may not understand why, but you are certain of what you must do, where you must go, what path lies ahead. This is divine instruction being impressed upon you, not through logic or reason, but through the deep intelligence of the spirit that speaks through the body. It is why the heart races before a pivotal moment, why the stomach tightens when something is not right, why a deep peace blankets you when you have made the right decision. The body, when surrendered to divine will, becomes an instrument of revelation, confirming what the spirit already knows. A sudden pull toward solitude, an overwhelming need to step away from the noise of the world, this too is a sign. It is the spirit drawing you inward, calling you into communion, preparing you for something yet unseen. You may resist it at first, feeling as though you should be moving, doing, engaging, but the pull persists. The body grows restless in the presence of distraction, yearning instead for silence, for stillness, for the quiet where divine wisdom can be heard. When you heed this call, when you allow yourself to withdraw, you will find that revelation comes effortlessly, not in the chaos of thought, but in the clarity of surrender. And then there are the tears. They come unexpectedly, without warning, without explanation. They may rise during prayer, in the presence of music, in the midst of a simple moment that should not by all logic evoke such emotion. But the body knows. It recognizes truth before the mind can articulate it. These are not tears of sadness, but of release, of recognition, of an inner alignment so profound that the physical form can do nothing but weep in response. So they come when the Spirit moves through you, washing away doubt, fear, resistance, leaving only the raw, unfiltered presence of God. There are moments when the body feels weightless, as if the burdens you have carried for so long have simply vanished. It is a lightness that is not merely emotional, but physical, a tangible lifting of something unseen. This happens when you surrender, when you stop resisting the flow of divine will, when you cease striving and allow yourself to be carried. It is in these moments that you realize how much you were never meant to carry, how much was never yours to hold. The release is total, undeniable, and in its wake comes a freedom so complete that the body itself rejoices, unshackled, unburdened, reborn. And then, without warning, the signs intensify. Time bends in unusual ways. You look at the clock, and the numbers align in a pattern too perfect to be mere coincidence. A name appears repeatedly. A phrase echoes in different places. A vision enters your mind with startling clarity. The body reacts to these synchronicities with an unmistakable surge of recognition, a deep sense that these moments are more than random events. They are messages, confirmations, divine signals sent through the fabric of reality itself, waiting for you to notice. Even the simplest of sensations, the hairs on your arms standing on end, a sudden shiver with no coldness, a gentle pressure upon your forehead, these are the whispers of the unseen, the gentle nudges of divine presence making itself known. They happen when you are in deep thought, when a revelation is near, when truth is about to break through. You may brush them off at first, but the body does not lie. It responds with precision, with certainty, revealing what the conscious mind often ignores. You will begin to notice patterns, rhythms in the way these signs unfold. The more you pay attention, the more undeniable they become. A sudden stillness in a crowded room, a sensation of being watched when no one is there, a pressure in your chest at the moment you are about to speak words that are not yours to say. The body acts as a compass, aligning itself with divine truth, responding to the presence of the sacred even when the eyes cannot see. And then the dreams come, vivid, intense, filled with meaning that lingers long after waking. The body reacts even in sleep, heart pounding at the moment of revelation, breath slowing in the presence of peace, limbs feeling heavy upon waking as though they have traveled beyond the confines of the physical world. The body does not distinguish between the waking and the dream. It knows when the Spirit has spoken, when divine instruction has been given. The dreams are not just visions. They are messages, blueprints, previews of what is unfolding in the unseen. All of this, the sensations, the whispers, the unexplainable pulls and shifts, is not random. It is divine communication taking form within you, reminding you that you are never separate from God. The body is not a cage. It is the sacred vessel through which the Spirit moves, speaks, reveals. Every shiver, every tear, every moment of peace or urgency is a message waiting to be received. To those who are willing to listen, to feel, to trust what is being revealed, the physical world will never again seem ordinary. The body will no longer be seen as a limitation, but as a divine instrument, a bridge between the seen and the unseen. And in that realization, the presence of God will become undeniable, not distant, not hidden, but alive, moving, speaking, waiting for you to recognize that He has been there all along. The breath itself is a messenger. There are moments when it suddenly deepens, as if your body is responding to something greater than what your mind perceives. You inhale with a richness, a fullness, and in that instant you feel something shifting inside of you. The Spirit moves through breath, guiding, comforting, awakening. And just as breath can deepen, it can also still. There are times when everything around you pauses, and for a brief moment, it is as if time no longer exists. You take in air, but the movement is almost imperceptible, like the world has stopped, waiting for you to notice. In that space of silence, something divine is speaking. The message is not always in words, but in the stillness itself, a reminder that you are not alone, that something greater is with you, directing you, calling you to listen. The body knows before the mind does. It feels a pull, a nudge, an unspoken urgency. There are times when you find yourself inexplicably drawn to a certain place, a certain person, a certain action that makes no logical sense. But the body moves forward as if guided by an unseen hand. You walk into a room and feel an instant recognition, as if you have been here before, though you know you have not. Your hands tremble slightly, your heart beats with a rhythm that feels purposeful, as if something beyond you is urging you toward a path you cannot yet see. You cannot explain why, but you know, deeply, instinctively, that you are exactly where you are meant to be. There are times when the body feels an overwhelming peace, an unshakable calm that settles over you like a blanket of stillness. The noise of the world fades into the background, and a sacred quiet surrounds you, as if the very air has been touched by something divine. It can happen in the midst of chaos, in moments where peace seems impossible, yet there it is, strong, steady, unwavering. This peace is not man-made. It is not the result of external circumstances aligning in your favor. It is something far greater, something supernatural. The body recognizes it immediately, surrendering to it, allowing it to seep into every cell, every fiber of your being. This is the peace that surpasses all understanding, the confirmation that God is near, whispering, guiding, embracing you with a presence that cannot be denied. And then there are the moments when the body feels something shift within. You awaken one morning and something is different. You cannot name it, you cannot explain it, but you feel it in your bones. The weight you carried yesterday no longer feels as heavy. The worry that consumed you now seems distant, almost irrelevant. It is as if an unseen hand has lifted something from you, taken what was never meant to be yours. This is grace in motion, divine intervention at work, the unseen rearranging the scene. The body responds with lightness, with a newfound ease, because it recognizes what has happened before the mind does. You have been set free. You have been realigned. You have been touched by the hand of God. The voice of the Spirit does not always come as words. Sometimes it comes as sensation. The tingling at the back of your neck when truth is spoken, the way your skin responds when something resonates deep within you. You feel it before you understand it. A conversation, a song, a passage of scripture, a single phrase that enters your mind without warning, and suddenly the body reacts. The heart rate shifts, the breath catches, the hairs rise, as if the Spirit itself is marking this moment as significant. The body knows, the body confirms, the body responds to the presence of truth before the mind can comprehend the weight of what is being revealed. And sometimes the body does not move at all. It becomes heavy, unable to take another step in the wrong direction. There is a resistance, an unseen force holding you back, making it impossible to proceed. You try to push forward, but something within you refuses. The weight is undeniable, pressing, unmoving. This is not fear nor hesitation. It is divine intervention. It is God stopping you before you walk through the wrong door, before you enter a space not meant for you. The body understands even when the mind resists. It signals through exhaustion, through unease, through a complete inability to move forward in a direction that is not aligned with your divine path. If you listen, if you trust, you will see that what feels like limitation is, in truth, protection. There are times when the body aches without explanation, a pressure in the chest, a stirring in the stomach, a sensation that will not fade. It is not illness, it is an awakening. The Spirit is calling for something within you to be released, something buried, something hidden. The body carries what the soul is not yet ready to face. And when the time comes for healing, it speaks through sensation. The heart aches not just for itself, but for others, for the world, for something far beyond personal experience. This is the stirring of divine purpose, the preparation for something greater. The discomfort is not punishment, it is transformation. When the pain subsides, when the release has occurred, there is a newness, a freshness, a clarity that was not there before. You have been made new. You have been prepared for what is to come. And then, there are the signs that seem almost too obvious to ignore. A word that appears everywhere you go. A song that plays at the exact moment you need to hear it. A stranger who speaks the very thing you were just thinking about. The body reacts before the mind registers the significance. Your breath catches, your pulse quickens, your eyes widen in recognition. This is divine alignment. This is God speaking through the fabric of reality itself, using the world around you to communicate in ways you cannot deny. Your body is not separate from your spirit. It is not merely flesh and bone. It is a vessel, a receiver, a conduit for the divine. The more you listen, the more you trust, the clearer the messages become. The signals are always there, waiting to be noticed, waiting to be understood. The body is not deceived by doubt, not confused by logic, not distracted by the noise of the world. It knows. It has always known. It is waiting for you to listen. It is waiting for you to trust. It is waiting for you to recognize that God has been speaking to you all along. There are moments when your body experiences a sudden burst of energy, a wave of strength that seems to come from nowhere. You may have been exhausted, drained, struggling under the weight of your worries, and then in an instant, something shifts. Your body becomes light, your steps firm, your spirit uplifted. This is not a random occurrence. This is divine energy flowing through you. It is as if the burdens you were carrying have been lifted by unseen hands, as if the very air around you has been charged with a force greater than you. The body does not produce this power on its own. It receives it. And when this happens, when you feel an unexpected surge of vitality, know that you are being strengthened for something ahead. The Spirit does not give energy without purpose. It is a sign that you are stepping into something greater, that you are being prepared for the next stage of your journey. Other times, the body experiences the opposite. A heaviness settles over you, an inexplicable weariness that refuses to be shaken off. It is not physical tiredness, not the result of work or lack of rest, but something deeper. Your limbs feel like they are carrying more than just your own weight. Your mind tells you to keep going, but your body resists. This is not a signal to push harder. It is a divine message telling you to be still. There are seasons where movement is not required, where God is working behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet perceive. The body responds to this unseen activity by urging you to rest, to pause, to allow divine timing to unfold without interference. When the body demands stillness, listen. It is not a sign of weakness, but of alignment, a reminder that sometimes the most powerful action you can take is to wait. There are nights when you wake up at an exact hour again and again without understanding why. The clock may read 3:33 or 4:44 or some other repeated number that you see during the day as well. This is not mere coincidence. Your spirit is being called to attention. The body responds by waking at precise moments, breaking through sleep, as if answering a silent summons. You may feel restless, unable to go back to sleep right away, as if something is urging you to be still and listen. Pay attention to what thoughts come to you in these moments. The Spirit often speaks in the silence of the night, when the noise of the world has quieted, when your heart is open, when there are no distractions. You are being given insight, revelation, direction. The body wakes because the soul is listening, receiving, aligning with divine wisdom that cannot be ignored. You may find that certain places make you feel deeply at peace, as if you have entered sacred ground. The body recognizes the presence of the divine before the mind does. It responds with stillness, with a sense of safety, with an unexplainable knowing. You step into a space and suddenly your breath slows, your shoulders relax, your thoughts clear. It may be a church, a quiet garden, a place in nature, or even a corner of your home. Wherever it is, your body reacts as if it has returned to something familiar, something holy. These are places where the presence of God is especially strong for you, places where you are meant to listen, to receive, to realign with divine purpose. When the body feels at home in certain spaces, take notice. These are the environments where you will be renewed, strengthened, and reminded of who you truly are. And then there are the moments of divine intervention that happen through sensation alone. You feel a hand on your shoulder when no one is there. A warmth spreads through your chest during prayer, wrapping around you like a blanket. A sudden shiver moves down your spine, though the air is not cold. These are not mere bodily reactions, they are divine encounters. The presence of God is not confined to what can be seen. It moves through touch, through feeling, through the unseen energy that flows through all things. The body is sensitive to these encounters, reacting in ways the mind cannot comprehend. You are being reminded that you are never alone, that the divine is closer than you think, that you are being guided, held, and protected in ways beyond human understanding. Sometimes the body trembles, not out of fear, but out of recognition. You may hear words that pierce through your soul, and suddenly your hands shake, your knees feel weak, your heart beats faster. This is a sign that truth has been spoken. The body reacts because the spirit within you knows when something is divinely ordained. The same thing happens when you receive a vision, a dream, a sudden realization that changes everything. The body cannot contain the power of revelation without responding. It is as if the physical form is adjusting to a new level of spiritual awareness, recalibrating itself to accommodate what has just been revealed. Do not dismiss these moments. They are confirmations that you have received something sacred, something meant to transform you. At times, the body experiences an unshakable urge to move. You may feel compelled to walk to a certain place, to call someone you have not spoken to in years, to take an action that makes no logical sense. And when you follow through, you find that what you were led to do was exactly what was needed. This is divine prompting working through the physical. The spirit does not always speak in words. Sometimes it moves through instinct, through a pull so strong that you cannot ignore it. The body is an instrument of divine will, responding before the mind can rationalize. Trust this. When the urge to act is persistent, when every fiber of your being is telling you to go, to move, to reach out, listen. It is not a random thought. It is a directive from something far greater than you. The body also responds to the energy of others. There are times when you meet someone and without explanation, you feel an overwhelming sense of peace or an unshakable discomfort. The spirit within you is communicating through sensation, warning you or welcoming you. You may feel a lightness, a warmth, a deep knowing that you are in the presence of someone who is meant to be in your life. Or you may feel a tightening in your chest, an unease in your stomach, a sense that something is not right. The body does not lie. It senses what the eyes cannot see, perceives what words do not reveal. When you feel peace, lean into it. When you feel resistance, honor it. The spirit is using your physical form as a guide, steering you away from harm and toward alignment with your divine path. There are moments when tears come without reason, when emotions rise to the surface unexpectedly. You may be sitting in silence, listening to music, hearing someone speak, and suddenly you are overwhelmed. These tears are not simply emotion, they are release. The Spirit is moving through you, clearing what no longer serves you, washing away what has been buried too long. The body holds on to what the soul does not yet know how to let go of. And when the time comes for healing, the release happens through tears, through trembling, through a breaking open that leads to something new. Do not resist this. It is a sacred cleansing, a divine renewal. Let it flow, for on the other side of release is clarity, peace, and transformation. The body is not separate from the divine. It is a vessel through which God speaks, moves, and reveals truth. Every sensation, every shift, every unexplainable moment is a signpost pointing you toward something greater. The more you listen, the more you trust, the clearer the messages become. You do not need to look outside yourself for confirmation. The signs have always been within you. God has been speaking all along. The question is, are you listening? Your breath changes when the divine speaks. You may find yourself sighing deeply for no reason, as if releasing something unseen. At times, your breath may slow, becoming deep and rhythmic, aligning with a presence that is beyond the physical. And then there are moments when you find yourself holding your breath, not out of fear, but out of reverence, because something profound has just occurred. The body is responding to an unseen presence, to the energy of divine communication. It is as if the breath itself is being used as a vessel to receive messages beyond words. You are being attuned to something higher, something sacred. These are the moments to pause, to acknowledge that the presence of God is near, that something is shifting within you. There are times when your ears begin to ring unexpectedly, a high-pitched frequency that appears and disappears without explanation. It is not simply a physical sensation, it is a spiritual call. The ringing in your ears is often a signal that you are receiving divine information, that your awareness is expanding, that you are tuning in to a higher frequency. It is as if something beyond the physical world is attempting to reach you, and your body is responding before your mind can comprehend it. Do not dismiss these moments. They are invitations to listen, to become still, to receive guidance that is not heard with human ears, but felt deep within the soul. The sensation of warmth is another undeniable sign. You may feel a sudden heat in your hands, as if energy is flowing through them. Your heart may feel as though it is radiating warmth, expanding beyond the limits of your body. This is divine presence manifesting within you. It is the power of love, healing, and spiritual awakening making itself known in a way you cannot deny. Some experience this warmth in prayer, others in moments of deep gratitude, and still others when they are about to step into something they were divinely called to do. The warmth is a confirmation, a reassurance that you are aligned with a purpose greater than yourself. It is the physical sign that what you are feeling is not imagined, it is real, and it is sacred. Enjoy it. Then there are moments when time itself seems to slow. You may be in the middle of an ordinary task when suddenly everything around you feels suspended. The sound of the world quiets, and you become intensely aware of the present moment. It is as if you have stepped outside of time into a space where only the divine exists. This is not an illusion. It is a moment of divine connection, a pause in the noise of life, so that you can receive something vital. Pay attention to what thoughts arise in these moments, to the feelings that emerge. When time slows, the Spirit is near, making space for revelation, for guidance, for an undeniable sense of peace. Sometimes your body will react before your mind understands why. You may walk into a place and immediately feel a shift in energy. Goosebumps may rise on your skin even though the air is warm. A wave of peace may wash over you, signaling that you are in the right place at the right time. Conversely, a sudden tension may appear in your chest, a heaviness pressing against you, warning you that something is not right. The body perceives before the intellect processes. It knows when you are standing in the presence of something holy, and it knows when you are near something that does not serve your highest good. Learn to trust these signals. The Spirit does not require words to speak. It communicates through feeling, through the undeniable language of sensation. There are times when tears come without warning. You may be listening to a song, reading something seemingly simple, or even sitting in silence when emotion rises to the surface. These are not ordinary tears. They are a response to divine presence, to truth that is being revealed to you in ways beyond understanding. They come as a release, as a cleansing, as a sign that something deep within you is shifting. Do not suppress them, let them flow, for they are washing away what no longer serves you, making room for something new. The Spirit moves through these moments, breaking down barriers, healing wounds you did not even realize were there. The sensation of being watched is another sign that should not be ignored, not in a way that brings fear, but in a way that reminds you that you are never alone. You may feel the presence of something unseen, a warmth surrounding you, an awareness that someone is near. This is divine protection, a reassurance that the Spirit walks with you. Many dismiss these moments as imagination, but they are far more than that. They are reminders that the divine is not distant. It is present, watching over you, guiding you, surrounding you in ways you may not always perceive. You may also find yourself drawn to certain scriptures, certain words, certain phrases that seem to leap out at you unexpectedly. It is as if something beyond yourself is directing your attention, highlighting messages meant specifically for you. Your hands may be guided to open a book to the exact page you need to read. A verse may appear again and again in different places, as if urging you to pay attention. This is not coincidence. This is how the divine speaks, through repetition, through subtle but persistent reminders, through messages that refuse to be ignored. When something keeps appearing in your life, when a certain message keeps calling out to you, do not dismiss it. It is an answer, a direction, a key that unlocks something vital within you. There are times when your physical body will feel lighter, as if you are no longer bound by the weight of the world. You may feel as though you are floating, as though something is lifted from your shoulders without you even realizing it. This is divine release. It happens when burdens are being taken from you, when the Spirit is lifting what you were never meant to carry alone. These moments often come after prayer, after surrender, after letting go of what you once tried to control. When you feel this lightness, know that something has shifted, that the weight you once carried is no longer yours to bear. Sometimes the body experiences sudden, uncontrollable laughter. A joy wells up within you, spilling out in ways you cannot contain. It happens even in the midst of struggle, even when circumstances say you should not feel this way. This is divine joy, a gift given to remind you that your spirit is not bound by the conditions of the world. It is the sign that the Spirit within you is alive, thriving, unshaken. When this laughter comes, embrace it. It is healing. It is freeing. It is evidence that the divine presence is working within you. The body is not separate from the divine. It is a vessel through which divine messages are received. Every sensation, every reaction, every unexplainable moment is a sign pointing you toward something greater. These signs are not coincidences. They are answers, confirmations, reminders that you are being guided every step of the way. The more you listen, the clearer the messages become. You do not have to look outside of yourself for proof. The signs have always been there, speaking through the language of your own body. The question is, are you paying attention? The divine has never been silent. It has always been speaking, always guiding, always revealing itself in ways beyond human comprehension. The body is not just flesh and bone. It is an instrument, a receiver of divine wisdom. Every breath, every sensation, every unexplainable moment is a whisper from the unseen, reminding you that you are never alone. These physical signs are not random occurrences. They are sacred invitations to deepen your awareness, to trust what you feel, to embrace the truth that the Spirit is always near. When you learn to recognize these signs, when you stop dismissing them as mere coincidences, you will step into a new level of connection with the divine. You will begin to trust the guidance that has always been present. You will no longer second-guess the feeling that something greater is unfolding in your life. The language of the Spirit is subtle, yet undeniable. It does not need words. It speaks through the rhythm of your heartbeat, the warmth of your hands, the sudden tear that falls without warning. The question is not whether God is speaking. The question is whether you are willing to listen. The signs are already within you, waiting to be acknowledged. Pay attention, trust what you feel, and know that you are being guided, loved, and watched over. Always. There is no situation so dark, no obstacle so great that God cannot make a way. What seems impossible to the human mind is but an opportunity for divine intervention. The walls that stand before you, the chains that bind you, the mountains that block your path, none of these can withstand the power of faith. When you believe, truly believe, the way will appear, and what seemed immovable will dissolve before your eyes. The physical world reflects the inner world. If you see only obstacles, it is because your inner vision is clouded with doubt and fear. But when you awaken to the truth that God has already provided the way, even before you ask, your reality begins to shift. The Red Sea did not part when the Israelites stood in fear. It parted when they moved forward in faith. Their deliverance was waiting, but they had to take the first step. So it is with you. The way is already made, but you must step into it. You are not trapped. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. The very moment you turn inward and surrender your struggle to God, a shift begins. It may not be visible to the natural eye, but deep within, the divine forces are rearranging circumstances, opening doors, and making the impossible possible. The prison you feel locked in is not real. It is the illusion of limitation. God does not see barriers, only possibilities. When you align with His vision, your world will transform. Do not wait for proof before you believe. Believe and the proof will follow. When you accept that God is working behind the scenes, preparing the perfect outcome, your fear loses its power. The walls of Jericho did not crumble because of human effort. They fell because faith demanded it. Speak to your mountain with unwavering certainty, and it will move. It is not your struggle that brings victory, but your absolute trust in the divine. God's way is not always revealed in advance. Often it unfolds step by step, each moment leading to the next in perfect order. Your task is not to figure out how it will happen, but to know that it already has. When you declare with full conviction that your path is clear, you will begin to see signs of its manifestation. The phone call, the opportunity, the unexpected help, it will come, and it will come at the perfect time. What once seemed like a dead end will become a passage. The sickness, the financial crisis, the heartbreak, these are not the end of your story. They are the moments before the breakthrough. When all seems lost, when every door appears shut, that is the exact moment God steps in. His ways are higher, His methods beyond comprehension, but His promise is unshakable. He will make a way where there is no way. It does not matter how long you have waited or how impossible it seems. The God who formed the stars, who commanded the light to shine from darkness, is the same God who is working in your life now. Open your heart, trust completely, and watch as the way is revealed before you. The breakthrough is already happening. The miracle is already on its way. Believe it, receive it, and walk forward in faith. There is a divine intelligence at work in your life, orchestrating every event, every circumstance, every so-called delay, to bring about a result far greater than you can imagine. When you stand at the edge of despair, thinking there is no way forward, that is the moment when the unseen hand of God is preparing your deliverance. The human mind sees limitations, but the spirit within you knows no boundaries. What appears to be an impossible situation is merely the unfolding of a divine plan you have yet to comprehend. You may be asking, how can I move forward when every door is closed? But the truth is, no door is ever truly shut to those who walk in faith. The obstacles you see are the illusions of the physical world, shaped by doubt, fear, and the belief in limitation. But the moment you shift your perception and recognize that God has already made a way, your reality begins to change. It does not matter how severe the situation appears. It does not matter if you have been told there is no hope. The world may say no, but God always says yes to those who align with His truth. The first step in seeing the way out of your impossible situation is to stop looking at the problem and start looking within. The answer is not in the struggle, not in the endless worrying, not in the desperate search for solutions. The answer is in the stillness. in the quiet confidence that God is already moving on your behalf. The moment you accept this, the burden lifts. You no longer carry the weight of uncertainty, for you understand that divine order is working in ways beyond human understanding. God does not require your effort, He requires your trust. The walls of Jericho did not fall because of human strength, but because of obedience to divine instructions. The sea did not part because of panic, but because of unwavering faith. Your situation, no matter how dire, is no different. The moment you stop wrestling with it and surrender it completely to God, things begin to shift. Solutions arise where there were none. A way forward appears in the midst of chaos. The prison doors swing open not because you forced them, but because divine power has commanded it. Faith is not just believing that God exists. It is knowing that He is active in your life right now. It is the deep, unshakable conviction that even in the silence, even when nothing seems to be happening, the way is being prepared. The caterpillar may feel trapped in darkness, unaware that transformation is taking place. But in perfect timing, the cocoon breaks and it emerges as a butterfly. So it is with you. Your struggle is not permanent. What appears to be an ending is merely the preparation for a glorious new beginning. There is no situation too complex for God to resolve. There is no sickness He cannot heal, no loss He cannot restore, no door He cannot open. The key is not to ask how it will happen, but to trust that it already has. When you pray, do not plead as if you are separate from the answer. Instead, declare with confidence that your way is clear, that the impossible is being made possible, that you are walking in divine favor. Speak as though the problem is already solved, and watch as reality conforms to your faith. Your words carry power. Every thought, every declaration, every emotion shapes the world around you. When you declare that you are stuck, you reinforce that reality. When you affirm that nothing is working, you align yourself with struggle. But the moment you shift your words and declare that God is making a way, that miracles are unfolding, that doors are opening, everything begins to change. It is not magic, it is divine law. The moment you see beyond the illusion of limitation, the prison doors swing open, the chains fall off, and you step into the freedom that was yours all along. Do not let fear dictate your vision. Fear will always show you walls, closed doors, and reasons why you cannot move forward. But faith reveals the path beneath your feet, the light in the darkness, the invisible hand guiding you. The moment you choose to see through the eyes of faith, your entire world shifts. What once seemed like a dead end becomes a gateway to greater blessings. The pain you endured becomes the foundation of your strength. The delay you resented becomes the very thing that positioned you for something greater. The world will tell you that you need proof before you believe, but God tells you to believe before you see. This is the essence of faith. When the Israelites were told to march around Jericho, there was no visible sign that the walls would fall. When Jesus told the sick to rise, there was no physical evidence that healing had occurred until they obeyed. Your breakthrough is waiting for you to step into it, to act as if the way is already made. The moment you walk in the certainty of divine provision, miracles unfold before you. Your impossible situation is not meant to break you. It is meant to awaken you. It is meant to lift you beyond human reasoning and into the realm of divine understanding. Every great victory comes after a moment that seemed insurmountable. Every answered prayer comes after a season of waiting. But those who refuse to give in to doubt, those who stand firm in the conviction that God is making a way, will always see the impossible bow before them. Do not measure your future by what your physical eyes see. What you see is temporary, but the unseen is eternal. The delays, the struggles, the closed doors, they are not permanent. The moment you stop fighting against them and start trusting in divine order, they lose their hold on you. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are not at the mercy of external conditions. You are a child of the Most High, and He has declared that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. No obstacle can stand before the power of God, working within you. The answer is already here. The way is already made. The miracle is already unfolding. Do not wait for the evidence to believe. Believe now and the evidence will follow. Speak as if the victory is already won and you will walk into it. Move forward with absolute confidence, knowing that the hand of God is clearing the path before you. What once seemed impossible is bowing to the power of faith. Your breakthrough is inevitable. Your way is opening. Walk boldly, for God is leading you into something greater than you have ever imagined. There is no obstacle that can withstand the power of faith. What seems like an impossible situation to you is already being worked out by divine hands. You may look around and see no way forward, but that does not mean the way is not there. It simply means you have not yet aligned yourself with the vision of God. When you stop relying on your own understanding and surrender to His higher wisdom, you will see what was hidden from you before. The walls before you are not real in the eyes of God. They are only as strong as your belief in them. The moment you believe in the way instead of the obstacle, the way will reveal itself to you. You may be surrounded by circumstances that tell you there is no way out. The bills are piling up, the diagnosis is grim, the opportunities seem scarce, every direction you turn you see resistance. But that is not the final word. The physical world is not the ultimate reality. It is merely a reflection of the state of your faith. If you accept what you see as permanent, you close yourself off to the miracle. But the moment you declare that God has already made a way, even before you see it, the foundation of your circumstances begins to shift. The unseen forces of the divine begin to move on your behalf, aligning events, opening doors, preparing a breakthrough that will come in ways you never expected. You must choose today whether you will believe in the problem or the promise. The problem shouts at you, demanding your attention, pulling you into fear and doubt. But the promise whispers in your heart, steady and unshaken, reminding you that God never fails. Every miracle begins with someone who refuses to accept the limitations of the world. Every breakthrough happens when someone decides that faith is stronger than fear. The Red Sea did not part for those who stood still in doubt. It parted for those who stepped forward despite their fear. You must do the same. You must walk as if the way is already made, and you will find that it is. Faith is not passive. It is not sitting back and waiting for a sign. Faith is action. It is speaking the victory before it happens. It is walking as though the walls have already fallen. It is rejoicing before the miracle arrives. When you align yourself with this truth, when you live as if the way is already open, you invite the impossible to bow before you. The world responds to what you believe, not to what you wish for. If you believe in lack, you will see lack. If you believe in struggle, you will see struggle. But if you believe that God has already provided, your reality will begin to mirror that truth. God's way is never the way of the world. The world tells you that you need resources before you move forward, that you need evidence before you believe. But God says, believe first, and the evidence will follow. The world tells you to fear the unknown, but God tells you that He has already gone ahead of you to prepare the path. The world tells you that you are trapped, but God tells you that you are already free. Which voice will you listen to? The moment you choose to trust in divine provision over human limitation, you step into a reality where miracles are not only possible, they are inevitable. There is no delay in divine timing. What appears to be a delay is often preparation. The seed does not break the ground the moment it is planted. It grows in silence, in the unseen realm, until the moment comes when it bursts forth into the light. So it is with your breakthrough. Just because you do not see movement does not mean nothing is happening. Trust that every prayer has been heard, every step of faith has been noted, and every obstacle is already being dismantled in ways you cannot yet see. Fear will always try to convince you that you are alone, that no one sees your struggle, that nothing will change. But that is the greatest lie of all. You are not alone. You have never been alone. Even in your darkest hour, the divine presence has been guiding you, whispering to you, making a way where there seemed to be none. The battle is not yours to fight. It is already won. The moment you stop fighting and start trusting, the battle dissolves. The moment you let go of worry and hold on to faith, the answers come. The moment you stop looking at the impossibility and start declaring that God is making a way, you step into the reality of the miracle. Do not wait for the situation to change before you believe. Believe now and the situation will change. Do not wait for the breakthrough to rejoice. Rejoice now and the breakthrough will manifest. Everything is unfolding according to divine order. Nothing is out of place. Every closed door, every delay, every difficulty is positioning you for something greater than you can imagine. Your part is not to figure out how it will happen. Your part is to stand in unwavering faith, knowing that it already has. The greatest transformations happen when you surrender completely to divine will. When you release the need to control, the need to understand, the need to see immediate results, you allow God to work freely in your life. There is nothing outside of His reach. There is no challenge too great, no burden too heavy, no path too lost for Him to restore. When you align yourself with divine truth, you become unstoppable. No force of darkness can stand against the light within you. No limitation can remain when you declare that God is your source. No fear can hold you when you walk in the assurance that all things are working together for your good. Your mind may tell you that your situation is too difficult, that your past mistakes have disqualified you, that you have waited too long. But none of that is true. There is no situation beyond redemption. There is no failure that cannot be turned into victory. There is no loss that cannot be restored. The moment you accept that God's power is greater than any challenge you face, your circumstances begin to align with that truth. The healing begins, the opportunities arise. The doors that were once locked begin to swing open effortlessly. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are standing at the threshold of a miracle, and all that is required of you is faith. Speak as if it is already done. Walk as if the way is already open. Rejoice as if the answer has already arrived. The power of God is moving in ways you cannot see, working through situations you thought were hopeless, bringing you closer to the breakthrough that has already been set in motion. Stand firm, do not waver, do not be moved by what your eyes see, but by what your heart knows to be true. The way is open, the answer is here, your victory is certain. Keep moving forward, for the impossible has already been made possible. Your reality is not shaped by what is happening around you. It is shaped by what is happening within you. Every limitation you see in your life is only a reflection of the limitations you have accepted in your mind. The moment you change your belief, the moment you declare that God has already made a way, the barriers begin to fall. You are not bound by circumstances. You are not trapped by what appears to be an impossible situation. You are being prepared for something greater. What looks like a dead end is only the foundation for a divine breakthrough. The delay is not denial, it is alignment. The waiting is not punishment, it is preparation. You may feel that time is running out, that you have been waiting for too long, that nothing is changing. But the truth is, the moment you plant the seed of faith, the harvest begins to form in the unseen. You do not need to know how it will happen, you only need to know that it will. The same power that parted the Red Sea, the same power that made water flow from a rock, the same power that multiplied 5 loaves and 2 fish to feed thousands, is the power working in your life right now. It does not matter what the world says is possible. It only matters what God has already declared. Every time you declare that there is no way, you limit yourself from seeing the way that is already before you. Every time you speak defeat, you align yourself with the very obstacles that are trying to hold you back. But the moment you speak in faith, the moment you declare that God has already provided, the moment you walk as if the answer is already here, the impossible begins to move. Doors you never knew existed will open. People you have never met will be positioned to help you. Resources you never expected will find their way to you. The whole universe will shift to make room for the manifestation of what you have believed. God does not need logic to work a miracle. He does not need perfect conditions. He does not need human approval. He does not need the situation to make sense. When He says it is done, it is done. Your only task is to align yourself with that truth. You do not need to struggle. You do not need to fight against what is unfolding. All you need to do is surrender in faith, to trust in the unseen, to know with absolute certainty that the way is already made. The biggest enemy of your breakthrough is doubt. The moment you entertain doubt, you begin to undo the work that has already begun. The moment you let fear take root, you delay what has already been set in motion. But when you stand firm, when you refuse to be moved by what your eyes see, when you hold on to faith even in the midst of uncertainty, nothing can stop what God has ordained for you. Every great move of God begins with someone who dares to believe when everything around them says otherwise. You do not need to wait until everything is perfect to act as if your prayer has been answered. You do not need to wait until you see evidence before you celebrate. You must rejoice now. You must walk now. You must act as if it is already done now, because in the realm of the divine, it is already finished. The moment you align yourself with that reality, the manifestation follows. There are no limits in God. There are no restrictions. There are no impossible situations. What seems like an end to you is only the beginning of something greater. What seems like a loss is only a setup for restoration beyond what you can imagine. Your part is not to worry about how it will happen. Your part is to believe, to trust, to stand firm, to hold on to the promise even when everything around you contradicts it. Do not let the voices of fear drown out the voice of truth. Do not let the opinions of others shake your faith. Do not let temporary struggles make you forget that your victory is eternal. Everything that you are facing right now is preparing you for something beyond what you can comprehend. Every challenge, every delay, every closed door is working together to bring you into alignment with the breakthrough that is already yours. Stop looking at what is missing and start thanking God for what is already done. Stop waiting for signs and start declaring that the way is already made. Stop doubting and start walking as if it is already yours. The power that created the universe is the power that is working in you now. There is nothing too great, nothing too difficult, nothing too far gone for God to restore, renew, and transform. Your situation is not permanent. Your struggle is not eternal. Your circumstances are not the final say. The final say belongs to the one who created all things, and He has declared that you are victorious. He has declared that the way is open. He has declared that you are already free. Walk in that truth, live in that truth, declare that truth, and watch as the impossible bends before the power of your faith. It does not matter what the world says. It does not matter what statistics say. It does not matter what the odds are. When God speaks, everything shifts. When God moves, no force in the universe can stand against it. When God opens a door, no one can shut it. And He is opening doors for you right now in ways you cannot yet see, in places you never expected, through paths you never imagined. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not without a way. The way is already before you. Step into it with confidence. Believe in it with all your heart. Speak it into existence. Rejoice as if it is already done, because it is. You are not meant to live in limitation. You are not meant to be bound by circumstances. The same power that spoke the world into existence is the power that is breathing life into your situation right now. There is no need to struggle. There is no need to worry. There is only the need to trust that the way has already been made. The moment you shift your awareness from lack to abundance, from fear to faith, from impossibility to certainty, the reality around you will conform. The world is only a reflection of what you accept as true. If you accept struggle, you will experience struggle. If you accept delay, you will experience delay. But if you accept that God has already made a way, then no force in existence can block what is meant for you. Every time you wake up and say, "I don't see a way," you are reinforcing the illusion of limitation. Every time you declare, "Nothing is working out for me," you are aligning yourself with delay. But the moment you say, "God has already provided," the moment you say, "My way is already open," the moment you act as if your blessing is already here, the world must respond. You do not need to force it. You do not need to chase it. You only need to align yourself with it. There is no power in the universe greater than the power that resides within you. That power does not beg. That power does not struggle. That power simply speaks, and it is done. You may think you are waiting on God, but God is waiting on you to step out in faith, waiting on you to believe without doubting, waiting on you to walk as if the promise is already fulfilled. Too many people wait for conditions to change before they believe. They wait for signs before they act. But the divine does not work that way. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That means you must have the evidence in your heart before you see it in the physical world. You must rejoice before the miracle manifests. You must move before the door opens. You must prepare as if the answer has already arrived. If you truly knew that your breakthrough was guaranteed, how would you act? If you truly believed that your prayer had already been answered, how would you live? Would you worry? Would you stress? Would you doubt? No, you would move in confidence. You would wake up with peace. You would walk in joy. You would speak with certainty. That is the secret. That is the key. To live as if it is already done, because in the unseen realm, it is. God does not operate by human logic. He does not need resources to be in place before He blesses you. He does not need conditions to be perfect before He moves. He does not need approval from anyone to bring your vision to life. When He declares it, it is already complete. But you must step into that completion with faith. The moment you begin to waver, the moment you begin to question, the moment you allow fear to creep in, you slow down the manifestation of what is already yours. But when you stand firm, when you refuse to accept anything less than the promise, when you declare without hesitation that the way is open, there is no force that can stop what has already been decreed. People may look at your situation and say it is impossible. They may tell you to be realistic, to accept what they see as the truth. But what they see is not the final reality. What they see is only a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. Your future is shaped not by what has been, but by what you now choose to believe. The world has no power over you. Circumstances have no authority over your destiny. The only thing that matters is what you accept in your heart as true. When you know without a doubt that your way is open, then it must be so. Too many people give up too soon. They pray for a miracle, but when they do not see immediate results, they let doubt creep in. They allow their current reality to dictate their faith. But faith is not about seeing, it is about knowing. Faith does not say, "I will believe when I see it." Faith says, "I believe it, and because I believe it, I will see it." That is the divine law. That is the unshakable truth. Everything that exists was once unseen. Every breakthrough, every blessing, every miracle was once a thought, a belief, a certainty in someone's heart before it manifested in the physical world. You must stop looking at your situation through the eyes of limitation. You must stop measuring your future by what is happening now. You must stop allowing your faith to waver because of temporary conditions. The moment you say, "God has already made a way," and you refuse to accept anything else, the way begins to reveal itself. It may not come how you expect. It may not unfold the way you plan, but it will come. It must come. That is divine law. That is spiritual truth. God is not bound by time. He is not limited by human understanding. He is not restricted by natural laws. What seems impossible to man is nothing to God. What seems too far gone to the world is nothing in the hands of the Creator. There are no closed doors in God's kingdom. There are no barriers too strong for His power. There are no situations beyond his ability to change. The moment he speaks, reality, the moment he moves, all opposition crumbles. The moment he declares, it is finished. You are not forgotten, you are not overlooked, you are not trapped. The way is already made, the answer is already here, the blessing is already released. You must align yourself with this truth. You must reject every thought that contradicts it. You must silence every voice that speaks against it. You must declare with absolute certainty that God has already done it. And as you walk in that faith, as you move with that assurance, as you live in that conviction, you will see the impossible bow before you. There is no situation too big for the power of God to transform. No obstacle is permanent unless you believe it is. What seems like an impossible wall before you is nothing but an illusion waiting to be dissolved by faith. The moment you stop agreeing with limitation, it loses its grip. The moment you decide that you will no longer accept struggle as your portion, the doors begin to open. You do not need to know how. You do not need to figure it out. That is not your job. Your job is to believe. Your job is to declare that the way is already made. Your job is to move in expectation, not hesitation. When you do this, the mountains move, the rivers part, and the barriers that once held you back crumble before you. Do not let circumstances dictate your faith. Do not let what you see with your physical eyes convince you that things are not changing. There is more happening in the unseen realm than you realize. Just because you cannot see it does not mean it is not unfolding. The seeds of your breakthrough have already been planted. The shift has already begun. You are not waiting for God to move. He has already moved. The only thing left is for you to align yourself with His truth and receive what has already been prepared for you. Doubt is the only thing that can delay what is already yours. Fear is the only thing that can keep you in the same place. The moment you release all hesitation, the moment you stand firm in your knowing, the unseen begins to take form. Everything in life follows the law of faith. If you believe you are stuck, you will stay stuck. If you believe things are getting worse, they will. But if you believe that your breakthrough is inevitable, if you declare that your blessing is already here, if you walk as if you are already free, then freedom must manifest. It does not matter how long you have been waiting. It does not matter how many times you've tried before. It does not matter what anyone else says. What matters is what you decide right now. Will you continue to allow fear to dictate your life? Will you continue to believe in impossibility? Or will you step into the power that has been given to you? The power to shape your reality, the power to command things to shift, the power to stand firm and know that what has been promised cannot be denied. Many people wait for a sign before they believe. They wait for doors to open before they take a step. But faith does not wait. Faith does not hesitate. Faith moves forward even when there is no visible path. That is the secret. That is how mountains move. You must act as if the way is already open. You must speak as if the answer is already here. You must walk as if the victory has already been won. Because the truth is, it has. The moment you align with this, everything changes. God is not limited by time, and neither are you. What may seem like delay is only an illusion. What may seem like an obstacle is only a test of your faith. The moment you shift your perspective, the moment you see beyond the physical and into the unseen, you will realize that nothing has ever been withheld from you. The only thing that was missing was your alignment with it. The moment you stop asking how and simply trust that it is done, the way is revealed. You do not need permission to step into your blessing. You do not need approval from anyone to walk into what has already been promised to you. The only thing you need is the certainty that it is already yours. Speak it, declare it, stand in it. No more waiting, no more wondering, no more doubting. The way is open, the path is clear. Now walk in it with full confidence, knowing that nothing can stop what God has already set in motion. You are not here by accident. You are not in this moment by chance. Every challenge you have faced, every hardship you have endured has brought you to this exact place. And in this place, you have a choice. Will you continue to believe in struggle, in lack, in limitation? Or will you open your heart to the truth that has been waiting for you all along? The truth that you were never meant to suffer. The truth that you were never meant to be stuck. The truth that the door was always open, but you had to believe it to see it. God is not withholding anything from you. There is no force working against you, no unseen enemy keeping you bound. The only chains that exist are the ones you have accepted. The only barriers in your way are the ones you have agreed to. The moment you reject them, they lose all power. The moment you decide that you will no longer live according to struggle, everything shifts. You do not need to earn your freedom. You do not need to prove your worthiness. You were already chosen. You were already approved. The moment you accept this, the moment you walk in it with unwavering faith, everything must align with the truth you have. You may look at your situation and think, but I have tried before, I have prayed before, I have believed before, and nothing changed. But that is not true. Everything changes the moment you decide it has changed. The moment you declare with complete certainty that your breakthrough is already here, it must manifest. Not tomorrow, not next week, but now. Because the only time that exists in the realm of faith is now. When you say, "One day I will be free," you are pushing your freedom into the future. When you say, "One day my situation will change," you are delaying the very blessing that is already available to you. But when you say, "It is done, it is mine, the way is open now," the entire universe responds. Everything rearranges itself to match the truth you have claimed. You are more powerful than you have been told. You are more capable than you have believed. The authority to change your life has been in your hands all along. You do not need external proof. You do not need anyone to validate your faith. You simply need to stand in it. Speak as if it is already done. Move as if the path is already clear. Feel as if you have already received it. And watch as the impossible bends to your belief. God has always made a way. He has never failed. There has never been a situation too great, a challenge too overwhelming, a problem too complicated for him to solve. But the way is only revealed to those who trust. The way is only visible to those who refuse to be swayed by fear. That is why faith is not just a concept, it is a law. The law that governs all things. The law that says what you believe you will receive. What you expect you will experience. What you claim you will see. The greatest trap is waiting for things to change before you believe they have changed. That is not faith. That is doubt disguised as patience. Faith does not wait for evidence. Faith does not wait for permission. Faith moves forward as if the way is already made, and in doing so, it creates the very reality it expects. This is how miracles happen. This is how breakthroughs unfold. Not by waiting, not by hoping, but by knowing. The moment you stop seeking signs and start living in certainty, everything shifts. The moment you stop asking for proof and start walking in expectation, doors open. You do not need to beg for what is already yours. You do not need to plead for what has already been promised. You only need to rise up in full confidence, knowing that the impossible has already been made possible, and walk in that truth. Doubt will try to creep in. Fear will try to whisper lies. Your physical reality may still show signs of struggle, but none of that matters. What matters is your inner state. What matters is what you hold on to in your heart. Because your reality is only a reflection of what you believe most deeply. And the moment you shift your belief, your reality must follow. There is no need to struggle. There is no need to force anything. The moment you surrender to the truth that it is already done, peace washes over you. Worry disappears. Anxiety fades. Because you are no longer hoping, you are knowing. You are no longer waiting, you are receiving. You are no longer lost, you are found. Everything is aligning for your good. Every closed door was protection. Every delay was preparation. Every challenge was shaping you. And now the time has come. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. The way is open. The impossible is being undone. The only thing left is for you to step forward in absolute faith, knowing that you are already standing in your answered prayer. Stand firm in the knowing that God has already made a way for you. There is no need to wait, no need to question, no need to doubt. The moment you align with the truth that your breakthrough is here, it must manifest. Walk with confidence, speak with certainty, and move as if every obstacle has already been removed. The impossible is only impossible to the mind that refuses to believe. But to the one who stands in unwavering faith, all things are possible. Your blessing is not in the future, it is now. Your freedom is not on the way, it is here. Trust it, claim it, and walk boldly into the life that has already been prepared for you. There is a time to speak and a time to remain silent, a time to declare and a time to keep the mystery hidden within. The greatest power is often found not in what is spoken, but in what is withheld. The world has trained you to believe that every thought, every desire, every dream must be shared, announced, and affirmed by the voices of others. But God is whispering to you now, be silent. Guard what He has placed within you, for not everyone is meant to hear it. The sacred dreams planted in your heart are not for public display. They are the seeds of your destiny, fragile and precious. When a seed is planted in the soil, it is buried in darkness. It is unseen, unknown, and untouched by the hands of men. Yet within that quiet space, it takes root and begins to grow. If the soil is disturbed too soon, if the seed is exposed before it is ready, it will never reach its full potential. The same is true for you. The visions God has given you must be nurtured in silence, for speaking too soon can invite forces that seek to uproot them. There are those who do not wish to see you rise, people who pretend to celebrate you but secretly envy the blessings forming in your life. Even those closest to you may not understand the magnitude of what God is doing in you. The moment you reveal too much, you allow doubt, fear, and opposition to creep in. Some will discourage you, others will mock you, and some will work against you without you even knowing. Not because they are stronger than you, but because you gave them the key to your own destruction by speaking too soon. Look at the great figures of faith. How many of them walked in silence before their appointed time? Joseph had a dream of greatness, but when he shared it with his brothers, he was thrown into a pit. Not everyone is prepared to hear what God has whispered to you. Not everyone is worthy of knowing what He is unfolding in your life. There is wisdom in silence. There is power in restraint. When you keep your revelation between you and God, you protect it from the corrupting influence of outside opinions. The world will tell you that transparency is strength, that honesty is power, that revealing your plans makes you accountable. But God's wisdom is not the wisdom of the world. He calls you to move in silence, to walk by faith, to trust in the unseen. When the time is right, your blessings will speak for themselves. Your success will make the announcement for you. The work of God in your life will be undeniable, and those who doubt it will stand in awe. Be still, trust in the process. Hold your vision close. Let God be the only one who truly knows the depths of your heart. There is a reason He speaks in whispers and not in shouts. The most profound transformations happen in silence. Your miracle is forming, your destiny is unfolding, and the less you reveal, the more you allow God to work in ways beyond human understanding. The greatest works of God are performed in silence. The turning of the earth, the rising of the sun, the blooming of a flower, all unfold without a sound. Yet man, in his impatience, feels the need to speak, to reveal, to explain. He does not realize that the moment he exposes his inner world to the outer world, he invites into. There are forces, both seen and unseen, that move against the plans of the divine, not because they are more powerful, but because they thrive on the ignorance of those who reveal too much. When God is working in your life, he often calls you into a season of quietness. It is not a punishment, but a protection. It is a shield against those who would misunderstand, against those who would plant seeds of doubt, against those who, knowingly or unknowingly, would try to hinder your progress. The moment you speak your dreams to those who do not carry the same vision, you risk contamination. Every careless word spoken, every detail shared too soon, is like exposing a newborn to a storm before it has developed the strength to stand. A man who understands the ways of God does not announce his every move. He walks with certainty, but he does not seek validation from those who do not share his faith. He knows that what is being formed within him is sacred, and sacred things are not for display. When a sculptor begins his work, he does not invite the world to see the unfinished form. He works in solitude, carving, shaping, refining until the masterpiece is ready. Only then does he unveil it. The same principle applies to you. What God is building in you is not yet ready for the eyes of the world. It is in the process of being perfected, and if you reveal it too soon, you expose it to hands that may seek to alter or destroy it. Look at the wisdom of Jesus. He spoke in parables, not to conceal truth, but to reveal it. Only to those who were ready to understand. He performed miracles, but often instructed those he healed to tell no one. He moved in power, yet he did not boast. Even before his greatest victory, the resurrection, there was silence. 3 days in the tomb, 3 days of mystery, 3 days where the world believed the story was over. But the silence was not emptiness. It was the preparation for the manifestation of divine power. God moves in the unseen. His voice is a whisper, not a roar. His plans unfold like the tide, steady yet unnoticed by those who are not paying attention. When he calls you into silence, it is not because he has forgotten you. It is because he is preparing you. He is aligning things in your favor. He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating events that will bring you into the fullness of what he has promised. But if you speak too soon, if you share what is not yet meant to be revealed, you risk delaying what is meant for you. Not everyone around you is for you. Some will smile in your presence but question your path in private. Some will encourage you to your face but secretly hope you fail. Others will pretend to understand but will fill your heart with doubt when you are most vulnerable. It is not because they are evil, but because they do not see what you see. They do not carry the revelation you carry. And so they speak from their own limitations, their own fears, their own doubts. In this, if you're not careful, their words will take root in your mind, and what was once a burning flame of faith will become a flickering ember. Silence is a strategy. It is not weakness, it is wisdom. A lion does not roar before it captures its prey. A warrior does not reveal his strategy before the battle. The wise do not speak of their plans until they have already set them in motion. You must learn to protect what is sacred. You must learn to move in silence, to guard your words, to trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by, even if no one else knows about it. There will be times when you feel the urge to explain yourself, to prove yourself, to let the world know what is happening within you. Resist the temptation. Your growth does not require an audience. Your transformation does not need applause. Let your success be your voice. Let the manifestation of God's promises in your life be the testimony that speaks for you. The enemy is always listening, waiting for an opportunity to sow confusion, to stir doubt, to create obstacles. He does not need to attack what he does not know exists. This is why those who move in silence often rise above those who seek constant validation. They understand that revelation is not for everyone. There is a time for speaking, and there is a time for waiting. There is a time for declaring, and there is a time for remaining hidden. You must discern which season you are in. Think of the caterpillar that enters the cocoon. It does not announce its transformation. It does not seek approval for the change that is taking place within. It simply surrenders to the process, trusting that in due time it will emerge as something greater. If the cocoon is broken too soon, the butterfly will never take flight. The process must be completed in secrecy, in stillness, in the sacred space where God does his most profound work. You are in a cocoon of divine preparation. Do not be in a hurry to reveal what is not yet finished. Trust in the timing of God. Trust that when it is time, he will bring you forth in a way that no one can deny. Until then, hold your peace. Walk in faith. Speak only to God. Let your silence be your strength. The world may not understand, but that does not matter. What matters is that you are aligned with divine wisdom. What matters is that you are protecting what has been placed within you. Be still, be silent, be careful with whom you share your dreams. Not everyone is meant to know what God has spoken to you. The less you reveal, the more he can do. The quieter you are, the louder his work will speak when the time is right. What is forming in you is too great to be wasted on ears that do not understand. Hold it close, cherish it. Let it grow in the secret place, and when the time comes, the world will see what God has done in you without you ever having to say a word. There is a reason God calls you to silence. He knows the weight of what he has placed within you, and he knows the dangers of revealing it too soon. Every word spoken is a seed cast into the world, and not every ground is fertile. Some seeds fall on rocky soil, where doubt and fear choke them before they can take root. Some fall among thorns, where the jealousy and negativity of others will strangle them before they can grow. But the seeds kept in the secret place, the seeds nurtured in faith and protected by silence, will flourish in ways beyond imagination. God does not reveal his plans to the world before they are complete. When he formed creation, he did not call a council. He spoke within himself, and in the silence of eternity, the universe took shape. If the Almighty himself operates in divine secrecy, how much more should you? If the Creator of all things moves in silence, allowing his works to manifest in perfect time, how much more should you guard the mysteries he has entrusted to you? There are forces in this world that thrive on premature revelation. The enemy cannot stop what God has ordained, but he can interfere, he can delay, he can plant distractions in your path to weaken your faith. He does not need to destroy the vision, he only needs to make you question it. And how does he do this? Through the words of others, through the doubts they speak into your life, through the opinions of those who do not see what you see. When Joseph shared his dream, he believed he was speaking to those who would rejoice with him. Instead, he awakened envy, and his own brothers sought to destroy him. Had he remained silent, his path might have unfolded differently. His destiny was still fulfilled, but his journey was marked by betrayal and hardship. Even so, God used it all for good. But learn from his story. Understand that not every revelation is meant to be shared. Some things are for you and God alone. When Nehemiah set out to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, he did not announce his plans to everyone. He surveyed the land in silence, moving carefully, discerning who was for him and who was against him. He understood the power of secrecy. He knew that not everyone who smiles in your presence is aligned with your purpose. He waited until the work was already in motion before revealing his intentions. This is wisdom. This is divine strategy. This is the way of those who walk in alignment with God. Silence is not passivity, it is strength. It is the shield that guards your faith, the barrier that protects your vision. When you speak too soon, you invite resistance before the foundation has even been laid. When you reveal too much, you expose yourself to voices that can weaken your confidence. But when you hold your peace, when you trust in God's perfect timing, you give him the space to work freely, without interference, without interruption. There will be moments when the urge to share overwhelms you, when you feel the need to explain yourself, to justify your journey, to seek affirmation from those around you. Resist the temptation. The validation of man is fleeting. The approval of people is fickle. One moment they will praise you, and the next they will question your worth. Do not build your foundation on the shifting sands of human opinion. Stand firm in the quiet assurance that God's plan is unfolding exactly as it should. Your silence is not a sign of weakness, it is a mark of spiritual maturity. The more you grow in faith, the more you will understand that some things are too sacred to be spoken prematurely. Some dreams are too divine to be exposed to the doubt of unbelieving hearts. Some promises are too precious to be laid bare before those who cannot comprehend their significance. Do not mistake silence for inaction. Just because you are not speaking does not mean you are not moving. Just because you are not announcing does not mean you are not advancing. Some of the greatest breakthroughs happen in the quiet. Some of the most powerful transformations take place in the unseen. Just as a tree grows its roots deep into the earth before it ever breaks the surface, your foundation must be established in silence before your success is made visible. Look at the example of Jesus. He often withdrew to lonely places to pray. He did not seek crowds when he needed clarity. He did not broadcast his every move. Even when he performed miracles, he would sometimes instruct those he healed to say nothing. He understood the weight of divine timing. He knew that some things must be hidden before they can be revealed. He knew that the power of God moves most profoundly in the quiet places, away from the noise of the world. If you truly trust God, you do not need to prove yourself to anyone. You do not need to explain what He is doing in your life. You do not need to justify your journey. Let your fruit speak for itself. Let your results be your testimony. Let your transformation be the evidence of God's hand upon you. Those who doubted will see, those who questioned will understand. And those who sought to hinder you will be silenced, not by your words, but by the undeniable manifestation of God's power in your life. Be patient, be still, be silent. The greatest victories are not announced before they are won. The most powerful moves of God often begin in obscurity. Do not despise the hidden seasons. Do not rush the process. Do not seek the approval of those who were never meant to walk your path. What God has begun in you, He will bring to completion. And when the time is right, the world will see what He has done, and they will know that it was never by your power, but by His. Until then, guard your heart, guard your words, guard the vision that has been placed within you. Move in wisdom, walk in faith, and trust that the silence you keep today is the foundation of the greatness that will be revealed in due time. There is a sacredness in keeping silent. The world teaches that you must speak to be seen, that you must announce your plans, declare your dreams, and seek validation. But the ways of God are higher than the ways of man. The greatest works of God often begin in stillness, hidden from the eyes of the world, growing in power before they are revealed. When a seed is planted, it does not cry out for recognition. It does not demand that the world take notice of its potential. It remains buried beneath the earth, unseen, as its roots grow deep and strong. It is in the darkness of the soil that it is prepared for the light. The same is true for you. What God has placed within you must be nurtured in silence before it can be revealed in glory. Not everyone is meant to understand your journey. Not everyone is equipped to receive the vision that God has given you. There are those who will misunderstand, those who will mock, and those who out of their own insecurity will attempt to discourage you. Some will disguise their doubt as concern. Some will speak words that seem wise, but are laced with fear. Others will openly oppose you, hoping to shake your confidence before you have even begun. But their words hold no power unless you allow them to take root in your mind. God is not a God of confusion. When He speaks, He does so with clarity. If He has revealed something to you, it is not for the approval of man. It is not for discussion or debate. It is for you to guard and nurture until the appointed time. There is wisdom in moving in silence, in allowing God to order your steps without interference. The noise of others can drown out the voice of God if you allow it. The opinions of people can create doubt where there was once certainty. Even Jesus, the Son of God, understood the importance of silence. Before He began His public ministry, He spent time alone in the wilderness. He did not seek the validation of men. He sought communion with the Father. He understood that His mission was too great to be tainted by human opinion. He moved in wisdom revealing only what was necessary at the right time. There were moments when he healed and instructed the healed to tell no one. There were truths he shared only with his closest disciples. He knew that revelation must come at the right time, to the right people. Your silence is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of wisdom. It is a shield that protects your faith, a boundary that guards your destiny. Do not be quick to reveal what God has placed within you. Do not expose the sacred to those who cannot see its value. Even Joseph, when he shared his dreams with his brothers, faced betrayal. They could not handle the vision God had given him. They could not rejoice in what was to come, and so they sought to destroy what they did not understand. You must learn the art of spiritual discretion. Just as a warrior does not reveal his strategy to his enemy, you must not reveal your purpose before its time. There are battles you will face that require silence. There are victories that will only be won when you allow God to fight for you. If you speak too soon, you may invite opposition that you are not yet prepared to withstand. If you reveal too much, you may awaken resistance before your foundation is fully established. The enemy does not fear what he does not know. When you keep silent, you move without obstruction. When you guard your words, you walk in divine protection. The moment you speak, you alert those who seek to hinder you. There are unseen forces that move against those who carry great purpose. The higher your calling, the greater the opposition. But the silent ones, the wise ones, the patient ones, they move forward while others are distracted. They build in secret while others seek attention. They grow strong in the quiet, and when the time comes, they rise with unstoppable power. There is a time to speak, but there is also a time to remain silent. Even the mighty eagle does not announce its flight. It rises above the storm without a sound. It does not flap its wings in frantic motion, nor does it seek the approval of those below. It soars effortlessly, carried by the wind. This is how you must move, in the quiet confidence that God is lifting you, in the assurance that your elevation is not dependent on the recognition of others. Some will question your silence. They will wonder why you do not explain yourself, why you do not seek their input. But they do not need to understand. The path God has set before you is not for everyone to walk. If they were meant to see, He would have revealed it to them. If they were meant to know, He would have spoken to them. But He chose you. He entrusted you with this vision, and so you must protect it with all that you have. Do not be discouraged when people do not support you. Do not be shaken when others do not see what you see. Your purpose is not dependent on their understanding. Your destiny is not in their hands. The only validation you need is the confirmation that comes from God. And when you have that, no other opinion matters. There is power in moving in silence, in allowing your actions to speak louder than your words. When the time comes, your success will be undeniable. Those who doubted you will see. Those who questioned you will understand. And those who sought to hinder you will realize that they never had the power to stop what God has ordained. Stay in the secret place, guard your heart, protect your vision, trust in the process, move in wisdom. And when the appointed time arrives, when the foundation is firm and the work is complete, the world will witness the fullness of what God has done in your life. And they will know that it was not by your might, not by your power, but by His divine hand that you have prevailed. When God places something within you, it is not meant to be scattered like seeds upon stony ground where birds may come and devour it. It is meant to be nurtured in the depths of your being, to take root and grow strong before it is ever exposed to the world. The moment you speak too soon, the moment you reveal what is still in its infancy, you risk allowing doubt, fear, and opposition to crush what was meant to flourish in silence. There is a reason God calls His people to seasons of stillness. He understands the delicate nature of what is growing within you. A tree does not bear fruit in its first days. It takes time. The roots must go deep before the branches can rise high, and in that time of unseen growth, there is no announcement, no declaration, only quiet preparation. This is the wisdom of God. to work in the unseen before the manifestation becomes visible to the world. So many destroy their own blessings by speaking before the time. They feel the stirring of something great within them, and in their excitement they tell everyone. They share their vision, their plans, their dreams, only to find that others do not share their faith. They are met with skepticism, with words that plant seeds of doubt, and what was once a bright flame of confidence begins to flicker, slowly extinguished by the winds of opposition. There are those who cannot rejoice in what God is doing in your life because they are trapped in their own limitations. They do not see what you see. They cannot comprehend the magnitude of what is unfolding within you, and so they project their own fears onto you, not out of malice, but out of their own inability to believe. You must be careful who you share your vision with, for not everyone is equipped to handle it. Silence is not just protection, it is power. It allows you to move without interference. It allows you to build without distraction. It allows God to work without the contamination of human opinion. When Nehemiah set out to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, he did not make an announcement. He did not tell everyone his plans. Instead, he moved in silence, surveying the city under the cover of night. He knew that if he spoke too soon, opposition would arise before the work had even begun. He understood that revelation must come at the appointed time, not before. Your silence is not emptiness, it is preparation. Every great work that God does begins in the secret place. Before Moses was called to lead, he spent years in the wilderness. Before David became king, he was alone tending sheep. Before Paul spread the gospel, he spent time in solitude, receiving revelation. They were all hidden before they were revealed. They were all silent before they were heard. Even Jesus, before he performed his first miracle, kept silent about who he was. He did not go shouting in the streets, proclaiming his power. He waited until the appointed time, and even then he often told those he healed to say nothing, because he understood the weight of timing. If the Son of God himself moved with such wisdom, how much more must we be careful with what we reveal and when? Some people will never be happy for you. Some will pretend to support you while secretly hoping you fail. Some will listen only to gather information, waiting for the opportunity to use it against you. It is not paranoia to guard what God has placed within you. It is discernment. The enemy does not need to attack what he cannot see. But the moment you expose what is meant to be hidden, you invite opposition that could have been avoided. Not everyone is meant to be a witness to your process. Some are only meant to see the finished work. Some will not understand the struggle, the sacrifices, the quiet nights spent in prayer, the tears cried in private, but that is not their concern. The journey is yours, and it is between you and God. Let them see the fruit when it is ready, but do not expose the seed before it has had time to grow. There will be moments when silence feels heavy, when you long to share, when you want validation, encouragement, confirmation from those around you. But that is the test. Can you trust that God's voice is enough? Can you move without the applause of men? Can you build without recognition? Can you hold on to the promise even when no one else sees it? When you keep silent, you give yourself space to hear God more clearly. You remove the distractions of opinions, the noise of doubt, the weight of unnecessary questions. You position yourself to be led by the Spirit, to move in alignment with divine timing. And when the time is right, when the work is complete, when God says, now, there will be no stopping what he has ordained. Those who spoke against you will have no words. Those who doubted you will have no arguments. Those who opposed you will realize they were powerless against what God has established. And you will stand, not because you sought approval, not because you defended yourself, not because you explained, but because you trusted, you obeyed, you remained silent until the moment God chose to reveal his work in you. Let silence be your strategy. Let wisdom be your guide. Move with purpose, with patience, with the understanding that what God has given you is sacred. Do not waste your energy trying to convince others of what God has already confirmed. Do not seek validation from those who cannot comprehend your calling. Guard your vision, protect your dreams, and trust that in the right season, what was once hidden will be revealed in the full brilliance of God's perfect plan. There is an immeasurable power in restraint, in holding back what the world is eager to snatch away. The moment you speak, you give away a piece of what is sacred. Every word carries energy, and when you speak prematurely, you risk dispersing the very force that was meant to sustain your manifestation. Not everything that is revealed to you is meant to be shared. Not everything God whispers in your spirit should be proclaimed before its time. There is a divine order to all things. Before the earth was formed, there was silence. Before the Word spoke light into existence, there was stillness. Creation itself teaches us that what is powerful begins in the unseen, in the void, in the quiet depths where transformation occurs. And yet so many are eager to announce what God is doing before it has had time to take root. They feel the stirrings of change, the promise of something new, and instead of allowing it to develop in the secret place, they rush to declare it to the world. But what happens when you speak too soon? The moment you reveal what is meant to remain hidden, you invite forces that seek to derail you. You expose your dream to the weight of opinions, doubts, and expectations that were never meant to be part of its journey. You invite unnecessary battles, distractions, and delays. The enemy cannot attack what he does not know. He cannot oppose what he cannot see. But the moment you open your mouth, you give him access to what should have remained under God's protection. Consider Joseph, who was given a dream by God, a vision of his destiny, yet in his youthful excitement, he shared it too soon, revealing it to those who did not have the capacity to understand. And what was the result? Betrayal, envy, a journey into the pit. Though the dream was still fulfilled, the process was marked with suffering that could have been avoided had he exercised discretion. The lesson is clear. What God reveals to you is for you first. It is not for everyone. It is not for every season. It is for the appointed time. Some people listen to your dreams not to celebrate them, but to sabotage them. Some pretend to support you while secretly hoping you fail. Others, even with good intentions, cannot see beyond their own limitations and will project their fears onto you. And if you are not strong in your faith, if you are not firm in your conviction, their doubts will become your own. Their fears will infiltrate your spirit. Their discouragement will weaken your resolve. And what was once a certainty in your heart will begin to feel like an impossibility. This is why silence is wisdom. Silence is a shield. It guards what is sacred. It allows God to complete His work in you without interference. Look at the greatest manifestations in Scripture. The miracles, the breakthroughs, the divine interventions. So many of them happened in silence. The Israelites marched around Jericho without a word until the appointed time to shout. Zechariah, the father of John the Baptist, was rendered mute until his son was born because God knew that his words of doubt could interfere with the prophecy. Even Jesus often withdrew from the crowds, performing miracles in secrecy, instructing those he healed to say nothing. There is a spiritual principle in this. What is divine must be protected. The process must be honored. The timing must be respected. When you move in silence, you allow God to go before you, to clear the path, to align every detail without disruption. You give yourself the space to hear Him clearly, to be guided without the noise of external voices. You step into a realm of trust, knowing that what He has promised, He will fulfill, without the need for human validation. Silence does not mean inactivity. It does not mean stagnation. It means working, building, growing in the unseen. It means preparing in private so that when the time comes, what has been cultivated in the dark will shine with undeniable brilliance. When a seed is planted, it does not announce its progress. It does not seek recognition. It simply grows. Its roots go deep before the first sprout breaks through the surface. And when it finally emerges, it is strong, unshaken by the elements, because its foundation was established in silence. God is calling you to this kind of growth, to the kind of faith that does not need constant reassurance, to the kind of discipline that does not seek premature applause, to the kind of obedience that moves without explanation. The world has conditioned us to seek instant recognition, to share every step of our journey, to crave external approval. But the spiritual path is different. It is sacred. It requires moments of solitude, of quiet transformation, of unseen preparation. The challenge is this: can you trust God enough to remain silent? Can you resist the urge to explain yourself, to prove yourself, to defend what God has placed within you? Can you hold on to the vision even when no one else sees it? Can you endure the waiting season without seeking validation from those who do not understand your calling? The most powerful moves of God often happen without announcement. When David was anointed king, he did not take the throne immediately. He returned to the fields, tending sheep hidden from the eyes of the world. When Moses was called to lead, he spent years in the wilderness before confronting Pharaoh. When Jesus was born, his arrival was not in a palace with grand declarations, but in the quiet of a manger, witnessed only by those whom God chose to reveal it to. And so it is with you. What God is birthing in you does not require public approval. It does not need to be broadcasted. It needs to be nurtured, protected, and allowed to develop according to His divine timing. Speak when God says speak, move when God says move. But until then, let your silence be your strength. Let it be your covering. Let it be the place where your faith is fortified, where your vision is sharpened, where your purpose is refined. Those who are truly called do not need to announce themselves. Their presence, their works, their results will speak in due time. Until then, remain in the secret place. Guard what has been entrusted to you, move with wisdom, walk in faith, and trust that when the moment of revelation comes, nothing and no one will be able to stop what God has ordained. There is a reason the greatest moments of transformation occur in solitude. The caterpillar enters the cocoon in silence, unseen by the world, and emerges as something entirely new. The foundation of a great building is laid beneath the surface, hidden from view, yet it determines the strength of what will rise above it. The most powerful storms are formed in quiet places, gathering their force before they ever make their presence known. So it is with the workings of God. What He has placed within you is not for everyone to see. Not yet. The seed does not explain itself before it grows. The tree does not announce each new root that extends beneath the earth. The process is sacred. It must be shielded, nurtured, protected from external forces that do not understand its purpose. And yet, so many sabotage their own manifestations by speaking too soon, by revealing what should have remained hidden, by allowing the opinions of others to pollute what was meant to be pure. There is an unseen realm where the true work takes place. It is in the quiet moments of prayer, in the stillness of surrender, in the depths of unwavering belief that the future is being formed. But to bring it forth, one must learn restraint. One must resist the urge to speak before the time is right. The moment you share your vision, you invite energy that is not always aligned with its fulfillment. You give room for doubt, for interference, for unnecessary opposition. The enemy does not need to attack what he does not know. He does not need to fight what has not yet been revealed. Some battles you are facing are not because of what you are doing, but because of what you have spoken. Some delays are not because of God's timing, but because you have exposed the process too soon. Not everyone will celebrate your elevation. Not everyone will understand your calling. Even those with good intentions may plant seeds of fear, doubt, or hesitation without realizing the harm they cause. Their limitations are not yours to carry. Their disbelief is not yours to entertain. The greatest power is in stillness, in moving in silence, in guarding what is sacred. Jesus Himself understood this. He did not reveal His full identity at once. He moved in wisdom, discerning who could be trusted, who was ready, who could handle the truth of His mission. And even then, He often withdrew to pray alone, to commune with the Father in the secret place. If the Son of God exercised such caution, how much more should we? The world values noise, but the Spirit moves in stillness. The world craves validation, but faith requires trust. The world teaches us to seek recognition, but true power is in remaining hidden until the appointed time. This is not weakness, this is wisdom. It is the strength to know that what is unfolding within you is far greater than what others can see. It is the patience to allow God to complete His work without interference. When a child is forming in the womb, it is not exposed to the outside world. It grows in darkness, nourished in secret, unseen by all but the Creator. And only when it is fully developed, when it is ready to enter the world, does it make its arrival. What if the process were rushed? What if the child were forced into the world too soon? The result would be incomplete, fragile, unable to survive the very environment it was destined to inhabit. And the same is true for what God is birthing in you. There is a time to speak, but there is also a time to remain silent. There is a time to act, but there is also a time to wait. Those who understand this principle move differently. They are not swayed by external noise. They do not feel the need to announce every step. They walk in quiet confidence, knowing that when the moment comes, their manifestation will speak for itself. Some doors open only in silence. Some breakthroughs happen only in stillness. Some miracles require solitude before they can be revealed. The Israelites did not march around Jericho with loud declarations. They walked in silence until the appointed time to shout. The walls did not fall because of their noise. They fell because of their obedience. They fell because they understood the power of restraint, the power of divine timing, the power of moving in accordance with God's instruction rather than human impulse. God is calling you to this kind of faith, a faith that does not need immediate recognition, a faith that does not seek human approval, a faith that trusts in the unseen, that allows the process to unfold without interference, that understands the value of secrecy in a world that demands constant exposure. There is strength in keeping quiet. There is wisdom in holding back. There is power in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Do not allow impatience to push you into revealing what should be hidden. Do not let the need for validation make you expose what should be guarded. Move with intention. Protect your vision. Let your silence be a fortress around what God is building in you. And when the time is right, when the work is complete, when the manifestation is undeniable, you will not need to explain yourself. What God has done will speak for itself. In the end, silence is not emptiness. It is power. It is the space where faith is tested, where visions are protected, where miracles are formed. What God is doing in your life does not require the approval or understanding of others. It only requires your trust. Let the world wonder. Let them question. Let them speculate. Your silence is not weakness. It is the shield that guards your destiny. When the time comes, your transformation will be undeniable, your elevation unmistakable, your manifestation unstoppable. Until then, move in wisdom, walk in faith, and trust that what is hidden now will be revealed in glory.